Hi everybody, welcome to the Scott Show. This is the Raw Recap show. We do this every Monday night, right after Monday Night Raw. And I'm just going to go right into it. We had the look back on the match of Roman Reigns and Elias, and the post-match attack by Samoa Joe that happened. The first thing, then they were live in the Staples Center. Kurt Angle comes out and the "You Suck" chants start. Roman Reigns, still the champ. And that's not the only title match. Because there's going to be the Raw Tag Team title match also. Jason Jordan comes out. Jason Jordan says he wants Reigns. Then Samoa Joe comes out. Reigns comes out. And it's all this big cluster until Jason Jordan suplexes Roman Reigns, and then Reigns gets all mad. If it takes one suplex to get him mad, that's pretty disappointing. The Roman Reigns-Jason Jordan match was actually a very long match. I was quite surprised how long the match was going to go. Roman Reigns ended up winning as if there was any question. I don't see this, come in and get it kind of challenge, especially when it's Jason Jordan and he's kind of booked for the things. I don't see him really getting too far. But then Joe came out and put Reigns in the Cohina clutch. But Jordan hit him from behind, delivered a suplex. So, these three are obviously feuding over the title. Are we going to see a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship? I don't know. And if we get a four-way match, would it be Elias, Jason Jordan, Samoa Joe, and Roman Reigns? And really, what would happen with Elias and Jason Jordan? They would look so much better if they got a huge push. So Kurt Angle's in the back with Stephanie McMahon. You can only imagine how she's yelling at him and calling him every name in the book. Samoa Joe attacks Jason Jordan, so obviously there's going to be more to that. Paige and Sasha Banks is the next match on the agenda. They have Absolution and the Bayley and Mickie James, Sasha Banks drama unfolding. It was a very interesting match, as I thought it was going to be somewhat like last week, and they're protecting Paige a little bit. It wasn't. It was actually a very good competitive match between Sasha and Paige until the girls got involved outside of the ring, and Rose and Deville took it upon themselves to distract Sasha after knocking down Paige and Mickie and Bayley. Paige drops Banks with the kick and hits the Rampage for the pin and the win. And that is Absolution. They win the match. Kurt Angle is backstage. Elias comes walking in with the guitar. And Elias gets the idea that he's going to get a worthy opponent for him. A lot of looking back into what happened last week or 2 weeks ago, this night on Raw. I think they're trying to tie all their stories together, and it's I think it's a little too late. I don't like that part. Interesting little thing between Enzo and Nia Jax. I have no idea where they're going with that. Is Nia getting a non-push because of her walking out of the company? Is she going to 205 Live? Yeah, we'll see what happens. So then they had the four-way Cruiserweight match. Actually a little bit entertaining. I find myself liking Tony Nese a little bit more every single day. Cedric Alexander, he is entertaining. And Drew Gulak, I'm just not a Drew Gulak guy. So it's interesting, but I'm still not a Gulak kind of supporter. But at the end of the day, Gulak does win the match. And he does move on to face Rich Swann next week on Raw. And the week after that, the winner of that match will face off against Enzo Amore. So that match will happen on the 18th of December, the weekend before Christmas. And there you go. So Elias comes out He starts his song. Out comes Braun Strowman. Okay, so he was told he's going to find a worthy opponent. His worthy opponent is Braun Strowman. So Kane comes out, and they have a little match, or a little tussle, and they're going to fight next week in Cleveland. It's going to be Braun and Kane. Hopefully the main event match. The Shield are backstage. And Reigns says he did his part. Now you guys go do your part. And there you go. I want to make mention of this. They come back from break and Michael Cole plugs that John Cena is going to be on Jimmy Fallon and the Today Show on Wednesday and Thursday. I am so glad they got to tell me this, because then I can totally not watch the Jimmy Fallon show on Wednesday and turn it to Good Morning America, so I don't have to watch the Today Show on Thursday and see John Cena's ugly face. So I'm glad they told me that, so I can stay away from him. Asuka and Alicia Fox, interesting little match there. Asuka, of course, wins the match. Absolution comes out and they do the little thing where she gets to walk away again. I think next week or the week after, they might make the turn, so they start the feud between Paige and Asuka. That'll be very interesting. They move on, and then they show Charlotte Flair in the Psych movie, and they actually show her more in the Psych movie than John Cena, which of course Cena shows up in the movie too. I don't know why. Apparently they wanted to make a crappy movie, so they gotta have John Cena in it. And Charlotte Flair looks good in it, so I think her parts will be good. It will be watchable at best, because Charlotte's in it. So Finn Balor faces off against Bo Dallas, and a few things the announcer said is that it was a big deal for Bo. It was possibly his biggest win if he wins, which he didn't. Finn Balor won the match. But they kept making mention that it was to be his biggest win to date. It would be all these other things. Bo Dallas is a former NXT heavyweight champion. He fought in the first NXT TakeOver arrival against Neville. So I don't think that it's him. I don't think it's the biggest thing in the world to beat Finn Balor. Even though he didn't get to. I just think that they could have done a lot more with Bo Dallas there. Finn Balor wins the match, a huge coup de grace, really far away, so that was pretty good. And then gets to the most, just the weirdest part of the night. You had Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt do the little thing. And it was very interesting. I gotta say, it was quite interesting to see the awoken Matt Hardy, not broken, but awoken. Bray Wyatt starts out saying, all these different things, and then the video is interrupted by Matt, and they go back and forth with Matt and Wyatt, and then Matt sentences Wyatt to deletion. It would be very interesting to see the final deletion WWE version. Maybe that's when Jeff comes back. I don't know how they're going to make Matt Hardy the deleted Matt Hardy or whatever. I don't know how they're going to make him a character on WWE, but if anybody can do it, they can. So good luck, WWE. And then the Raw. Oh, and one last thing on the Hardy thing. I will give the Matt Hardy, the awoken Matt Hardy, a shot. But if they bring that wife of his on TV, I will probably only watch SmackDown. Because she's just some kind of god-awful. The Raw Tag Team title match. It was Rollins and Ambrose against Cesaro and Sheamus. Very interesting match with quite an interesting ending. I was looking at the ending and interested. It was a great match, though. The crowd really got into it. These guys are killing it probably every single night on the road. This was no exception. the winners by DQ, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, because Sheamus got disqualified because he wouldn't get off a Rollins. So finally the ref calls for DQ on something like that when it normally happens anyway. Sheamus and Cesaro thought they got away with it. Kurt Angle comes out and says, no DQ match. So then they go to the no DQ match, which is only like a 2-minute match. Then Samoa Joe comes out, jumps Rollins and Ambrose, and then Roman Reigns comes out, chases Joe from the ring, and then Sheamus runs in, hits the brogue kick on Dean Ambrose, and Cesaro covers him for the pin and the win. So it was a great way to get that little deal taken care of this little thing. Here we go, DQ, and then they fixed it anyway. So that was Raw. I will be back a little bit later on. CNN, or not CNN, Time Magazine has named their Person of the Year finalists. I want to give you guys a little insight on who they are in another podcast. So we'll see you guys in a little bit. Have a great time, and thanks for listening to the Raw Recap.